you're here with me. And today I have a very special guest. And we will talk as well as, I mean, with flowing and this all these important concepts in flowing forward in and the becoming more every day, this beautiful energy that is already happening even more. So hi Jen, and thank you so much for being here.
Hi, everybody. Happy, beautiful day. I'm so excited to be here doing this interview and this Facebook Live and just connecting with everyone. There's so many beautiful, exciting things happening right now. And what a delight to be sharing with everyone today.
Thank you so much. I so love it, and I'm so looking forward. So, Jen, I'm very happy that you are here because, I mean, even with everything that is happening with Best Life and with this flow. So, Jen, I just would love very much from your perspective why it's such, because I just know that, all of us besties, every time when we discuss something, it's flowing. So why it's so important and so good? I mean, because even the topic is deliberate flowing. Why, Jen, it's very important to flow in life with, in this concept with everything.
Mhm. Well, I just love this question. And I think it really comes into the understanding, right? That when we ask, it's given. And so, what does that mean? That means, from our physical perspective, when we ask, the broader perspective of us, our inner being, which is that extension of God's source, answers immediately. It says, yes, here it is. And it vibrationally becomes it, it vibrationally holds true to it. And it's understanding that concept. So we, really say, relax, connect, be okay with where you are, feel that energy of flow and of ease, the feeling of good feeling, that feeling like source. Because when you feel that, you can hear your guidance, you can feel your guidance, you know what to do, you know where to go, and you don't worry, in essence, right? Because when we're worrying, we're kind of thinking against. We're thinking possibly it couldn't happen. And what could I do? What could I do? What could I do? But it's all about being able and allowing ourselves to receive that guidance and to be on that joyful journey forward of unfoldment and realizing how delightful what we've asked is and how magnificent it is for us to receive it and what a blessing it is for the whole, for not only us but for source, for the planet, for all that is, to be in that space of ease and flow and ease and flow, kind of like breathing. So, yeah, it,
Oh, oh, I just love this, Jen. And it just brings more clarity in everything. And, Jen, because when people, in general, they are feeling good and they are experiencing something different, in their life, maybe it can be, maybe it doesn't matter, but really different things that they don't prefer, they don't like that. So they are feeling good, and then again, and are we always going to have contrast, Jen? And why to just don't be happy?
yeah. Oh, I love this question. It's so great. So, because, and it really comes into understanding that we're all extensions of God or source energy, right? But guess what? Source God doesn't really experience contrast. To God, everything is in its place of perfection. So
Mm.
we said, we chose this before we came, and we said, we'll come forth into this physical universe with contrast. so that we can sift and sort, so that we can choose, so that we can create expansion and really flow forward and ensure that this is an eternal, ever forward moving universe, always becoming more. And so when we really come into that space of understanding that, we don't see contrast as something bad. We just see it as something different. We actually see it as a time when we can freely go, not that, this, right? And because we know with such certainty that what we've asked is given. And we know if we're seeing or experiencing something different than we desire, there's going to be a beautiful journey forward into the unfoldment of what we do desire. And that journey is certain unless we resist it. And we resist it when we worry, when we stress, when we try to put our action ahead of our alignment. These things block that. But when we come into that space of feeling our connection and enjoying our life and knowing we can only be where we're at, and when we're okay with where we're at, we're open for more. We're open for more. We're able to flow forward into more. But when we're dissatisfied with where we're at, it's as if we can't hear our guidance. So we're kind of aimlessly trying to do things. And they're not really in that connected space. And sometimes we can really get ourselves feeling kind of in a negative momentum.
Mm.
But it's as simple as knowing that we can always refocus, we can always relax, we can always
Yes.
meditate or take a nap or
Yes.
deliberately reset. Doing that, we can always flow forward.
Yes, Jen. Jen, what to do when we feel like, and you were so clear in general, but some specifics. What to do when we feel a little bit different, and are we left behind with our flowing or with our desires when we are experiencing contrast? And you just said it so clearly that contrast is even more clarity, it's even more
Yes,
flow, it's even more, it's for us, it's a blessing.
yes,
But Jan, I've just seen people that through this kind of things they are feeling that they are left behind or all of that. So are we left behind when we experience contrast, and what to do, some examples specific when we are feeling
sure.
contrast.
So the most important thing to understand is if you have a lot of negative momentum, right? If you're really going, and I like Abraham's most current example. They say if you were a skier skiing down a hill and you got on kind of some unstable snow, there was maybe some ice, and you started tumbling, even if me or anybody from the sideline said, stop, you couldn't immediately stop, right? That momentum's got hold of you. So if you are feeling really negative, right, that momentum's got hold of you. So what can you do? I'm tumbling down the hill. Well, guess what? If you're the one tumbling down the hill and you come into that space of, okay, here's where I am tumbling, guess what? You'll start to come into alignment. You'll be able to get a hold of that pole and kind of slow yourself or dig a ski in, or you'll see there be a little a rock or a branch or something that will come that can assist you in slowing that momentum, right? So the first thing is to always be okay with where you're at. So acknowledge it. Don't go, no, 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 I'm not tumbling. No, 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 not tumbling. No, that's not me. Because that's not going to help, right? It's like, oh, yeah, I'm tumbling. Okay, right? So, wow, dig a ski in, put a pole in. Yes. Okay, slowed and stopped. Okay, good. And then, come bring yourself back up. So physically speaking, what can you do? Well, first thing, acknowledge it. I am feeling kind of a little distressed. Some things are happening differently in my life right now. And there are some disruptions that you may be feeling. Um, but that's okay. acknowledge it. And that doesn't mean you have to go, oh, good, I'm having disruptions. Yes! No, it just means I'm having disruptions. And this is not that comfortable to me. Can I be okay with that? And then start generalizing it out. Say, well, in the bigger picture in my life, I see things are always working out for me. I'm still living, I'm still breathing. You know, things generally do work out. And I know when I ask, it's given. I know that. I've heard that and I've come to believe it. And I know that if I relax, if that I give myself a little break, right? If I know I don't have to do anything right this red hot second, things will start to shift, right? So, first thing is just ease up on yourself. Be loving to yourself, be gentle to yourself. And then you can do some practical things like, some breathing, right? That's always good. Taking some deliberate deep breaths. You can meditate, which allows you to feel your connection. You could take a nap, right? You could take a little nap just because here's a beautiful thing. Did you guys know when you take a nap or you sleep, you set all momentum down? And here's the thing, it doesn't matter how long you nap. So it doesn't mean like I need to take a 5 hour nap. You could take a 10-minute nap and set that momentum down for that little bit and have a complete reset. It's that quick, right? Or if that's not possible, you could go for a walk, right? Or you could find something that you really do love, like a pet or your kids or a favorite place you go to. Anything that allows you to shift your focus on something that feels better, right? And knowing that that sense of urgency, it's not that urgent, right? I it's fine. I can give myself a little time, right? And allow that. And just in doing that, just in being deliberate and making that shift, you'll feel your guidance. You'll feel something
Mm,
new. You'll feel it, and you'll feel it in a strong way. And
mm,
follow that,
mm.
whatever it comes, even if it doesn't make sense, because it might not. It might be something like, you know, go call so and so. I want to call so and so, or go clean out your closet, or clean out that drawer, or reorganize something on your computer, or whatever. But follow that guidance. That guidance is taking you on a path. And
Mm.
I heard something from one of our besties the other day, and I want to share this with you guys in case this is
Yes, please.
you. And she said, I've been finding myself lately, and this is really unusual for me, feeling tired, kind of later in the morning, like around 11 p.m., and then like kind of later in the afternoon. She goes, I don't know. And then so we got to talking, and then she said, well, and if I just take like a 10-minute nap, I just feel so refreshed. And then I said, oh, well, have you considered that maybe that's your inner being calling you so that you set down that resistance? Maybe those worrisome thoughts or thoughts that you need to do something so that when you wake from that nap, they can get a little guidance into you, a little inspiration. So just know things are always working out for us if we allow it.
Oh, Jen, thank you so much. You know, such a clarity. I just, I would love Jenny flowing this distinction, uh, you know, from our perspective of human mind and inner being, you know. So in a sense, you are saying that everything is working out for us always, and it's such a good experience for us always becoming more. So, uh, can you bring such? I mean, can you bring more clarity in this distinction between human mind and inner being, and why it's important to just flow with all of it, and does it back, or or it is necessary to do that?
Mhm. Yes, yes. So our inner being, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that of us that has always been. That's that extension of God, source energy. So this is the part of us that comes into our body, and upon first breath, we have independent life, right? Yeah, and arguably you can say, "Why would alive in my mom's tummy or whatever?" Well, for sure, but independent life begins on first breath, right? And in this physical body. And upon last breath, it transitions back to non physical, right? So that part of you that entered and exited your body, that is your inner being, your soul, your life force energy, that extension of the God source, the universe. That's the part of you that sees the broader aspect of everything. You now in your physical body have a mind, right? Your human mind. So what is that? Right? That
Mm-hmm.
is the part of you that we like to call your focuser, right? And we came to use our mind in a way to focus deliberately because we are free. We like to really emphasize at this point because we are so free. We stand on a foundation of freedom, meaning we can choose to focus on what feels good to us or what doesn't. We're free. Nobody makes us do this. Nobody can make us focus anywhere other than we choose. Now, there can be some strong external influences around us for sure,
Mm-hmm.
but we always get to decide, right? It's always up to us where we focus. So, and now it's knowing how these two parts of us work together. So we have the broader aspect of us, which is an extension of God's source. And that part of us always feels good. And that's the part of us that when we ask from our physical perspective, so we see something in our physical life that we don't prefer. And it says, this is what you like, we have it. And it holds unwavering focus upon it. It holds it in such a way. And Abraham likes to describe it as it holds it in a vortex, right? It holds in a spinning vortex. And what does that mean? It means that our life force energy, that extension of God, source, is holding focus on all that we've asked in a way that is spinning and recalibrating to us so it matches exactly who we are in every given moment. And I like to use this example, and I use it a lot in Best Life about Nick. And this is Scott and my son. And from a very young age, he had some big aspirations in hockey. And he played hockey from the age of 4 up until 2 years after graduation out of high school into he played 2 years of juniors and then was accepted into college or university, right, on a scholarship to play hockey. And he had some big aspirations and some very big goals, but he also, um, and just to make a long story short, had definitely some resistance in this path. And he ended up manifesting an injury that uh, ended that hockey career. But I was so inspired by him because, of course, at the moment he felt it, but he said, Mom, it's okay. I'm just going to really focus on my college. I'm going to focus on making the most of this. And he just decided to move forward. Well, in moving forward, in came rugby. And he wasn't looking for rugby. He wasn't looking for another sport. He wasn't doing any of this. The coach came to him. And what ultimately ended up happening was all the desires he had for hockey that were unrealized came to be in rugby, meaning he was able to be on a team that absolutely loved and adored him. He was captain of his team. They won the state title, the regional title, and went to nationals, right? And played in the championship game and had a absolutely phenomenal season, right? And all those things that he desired came to be. Because when we ask, it's given. But we can't get too tied to the how. And because for Nick, he loved hockey and he loved all of that, but he had some resistance that was built up right? He had a lot of specific energy, but when he could let that go and really said, well, it's okay, I'm just going to move forward with college, I feel this is a good thing, in came his desire without any
Mm,
resistance. And this is the
mm,
idea that when we feel resistance, when we feel that need to push or effort so hard, that we set it down, that we can set that resistance down gently and recalibrate to that which feels better. Because the resistance that he was holding in hockey blocked him from receiving what he wanted. But the desire and the asking was strong. So when he
mm.
had set that down, it came right in. And he's proceeded forward in his life with other examples of that. And it's just a very clear knowingness that when we ask, it's given. And the job of from our physical perspective, is to hold focus on the direction that feels good to us and not get too hung up on the details. Because guess who's holding focus on those? God, source, our inner being.
Mm.
So if we hold focus to feeling good, which means we're connected to that energy stream, we're right on track.
Oh, Jan, it ties very perfectly with the question that I'm very looking forward to that. It's very often it's talking about it's only now. Living the now, and yeah, because it's very important. I think for myself too. Uh, and from my perspective, with everything that we talked in best life, and all of that in flowing. Can you explain a little bit this connection with the past, the now, the future? Because you know that I think for myself that there is a past and there is a now, but our power is in the now. So we just flow forward in the newness, in our becoming, but there is a past and there is a now and there is a
Yes,
future.
yes.
So yeah, I just so love to hear from you, this expansion.
Mhm. Oh, I love this question. This is such a beautiful question. And we like to say in Best Life, all that has preceded you has served you well. Right? It has. And, there's nothing to go back to. As a matter of fact, you can't go back to anything. And, sometimes people will say, well, I just want to get back to normal. You can't go back to anything. You can flow forward, right? And this is a wonderful thing to understand too. God, source, the universe, your inner being, everything that exists in this universe is in motion forward. It's in its space of becoming. And that includes you and that includes me, right? And just consider this, we don't even have words, nomenclature, to explain that something could, in essence, unbecome itself, right? So even think about a tree, and I've used this example before, but think about a tree. It comes into its life experience and it grows, and even if it's struck by lightning and now it comes into its space of decay, that's still all in motion forward. Right? It's not undoing itself, it's flowing forward. And even if you take a piece of that wood and you burn it up in a fire, that energy from that tree is still in motion forward. It's fuel in that fire. And then those ashes turn into minerals which re-nourish the soil, right? Everything is in motion forward. Everything is in a space of becoming, and everything is becoming more. Nothing unbecomes itself, but it does transform into that which we hold our focus upon. So all that has preceded us has served us well, and our power is in the now. Now, this is a little bit of a piece to understand, right? Because from our human perspective, we think now is what we can see, hear, feel, taste, touch, right? But our true now is vibrational. So, a good way to explain this is if you were driving in a car, right? You're in your car and you're driving. Well, If you were looking in the rear view mirror, that's your past, right? You can see behind you. And if you kept looking in your rear view mirror, that wouldn't serve you very well, right? You would crash, right? And if you said, well, I'm just going to be tied to my right now, in the moment now, my human now, you would cut a hole in your floorboard right beneath your feet. And your car would be in
Mm,
motion, but you'd be looking down right now, right? And that wouldn't serve you well either,
mm,
right? And but the perfect vantage point is that where we're being guided, and that is right out our windshield, right? It's that space we can see of motion forward, that what our physical eye can see. This is the sweet spot. This is where to hold our focus. To be okay with where you're at. Are you okay on the road? Yes. This is the only place I can be. I can only be in my car at my road on the road right now, right? I'm okay. And then you're in motion forward. And then you can see when there's a curve to navigate around, or there's a hill coming up, or a stop sign. You can see all of those things. And the other thing that people do that goose themselves up is they try and say, but I'm just going to be in the future. I'm going to put vision boards everywhere and I'm going to project myself into the future. I'm going to focus on the future. Well, that would be like mounting a telescope on your dashboard in your car and staring out that telescope that shows you it's like 500 miles down the road. Well, that's not going to work for you either. Your sweet spot, the spot to be, is right now. And that's right out that windshield. That's that space where your inner being is calling you. And it is in motion. So a driving car is a good perception of this. Nothing in this universe is stagnant. Everything is motion forward. Nothing is going backwards, right? I know we have a reverse on our car, but we're not going backwards, right? We're going forward. Yeah. Does that make sense?
oh, yeah, so much. I just had so many expansion with all of that. I just, Jen, for me, I just love that we are always expanding. I mean, with who we really are. Because, you know, if we are not expanding with who we really are, we are not even expanding necessary. So, Jen, why it's important to just, to expand with who we really are? So if something doesn't make sense or doesn't resonate, just don't 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 say it's like that, because it's not true. It's not who you really are. So
Yeah.
why it's important to be, and you just already said so good things, being okay, and then just just flowing, everything is for us. But even more, this understanding, between tolerating and allowing. So in really, in this motion forward in who we really are. So yeah, this understanding that we can really, you know we can really expand with who we really are, not what everyone else wants, or the others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Well, I love this. And this actually feels like a couple questions here. So really, 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 really good. Um, but it's beautiful, right? Because we can only be who we are. And sometimes, we're kind of given some advice that I would say, consider it and feel your way through it. But know this, we came to be who we are, which is an extension of source energy on our own unique path, right? This is our path. This isn't some path that somebody has already been on. This is our path.
Hmm.
And to know that when we are connected to who we really are, when we're feeling our life force energy, we'll feel that guidance. So when somebody says something like, find somebody else who's done something that you want to do, who's been where you are, and then copy them, I'm going to say, yeah, first, align, right? Align with yourself and trust and know that you will be guided. And yes, we are all in this together, and we are all supporting one another in this process. And we all have wonderful things um, that we can share with one another or learn from one another or, um, you know, create clarity around. So, but first and foremost, align up with your own energy and know that when you're feeling your energy, you'll feel your path. You'll feel it because your path is unique. You may think, I want to do this same thing that somebody else did before. I want to be this kind of successful businessman or person or whatever. But you're going to do it in your own way. So feel your path. And along your path, if you find things that others have done that will be a benefit to you, you'll be guided to them. But I don't ever suggest trying to parrot or do something that somebody else did. So somebody else, if you don't, I wouldn't recommend, say, person that I really admire, give me your daily routine because I want to know exactly what you do every day. Because that might be right for them, but it's not going to be right for you. And if you try to compromise your feelings in this process and follow somebody else's path, you will ultimately feel diminished, right? You really
Mm.
will. You came to feel and flow, and we have our feelings. They're so important. They are our guidance. Our feelings, clarity on this too, our feelings don't create anything. I don't care how mad you are. I don't care how happy you are. Your feelings don't create anything, but they guide you to let you know if what you're focusing upon is in the right direction. So if you're feeling good, feeling even, really good, really happy, that lets you know you're flowing in alignment with who you really are. But if you're feeling really nervous, if you're feeling really anxious or worried or angry, that lets you know that you're flowing against who you really are. And so, most important that we feel that. And I bring that up now because you'd mentioned the difference between allowing and tolerating. And this is so important because we didn't come to make ourselves like things we don't like. We didn't. We didn't. We really, really didn't. But I will expand this out a little bit more, right? We came to sift and sort, so we know if we prefer something, we know it, right? We like to use the example in Best Life of Dave with coleslaw and to say, Dave doesn't like coleslaw. Or, right? So, but then, for Dave, it's not a question of him making himself like coleslaw. He knows he doesn't like coleslaw. But to be in a space of, that's okay, I don't prefer coleslaw. But he's told me before that his girlfriend likes coleslaw and many people like coleslaw, right? And that's okay. He doesn't have to take coleslaw. And he doesn't have to worry that
Yes.
he's gonna somehow coleslaw is gonna jump onto his plate, right? Or that he's gonna be forced to eat coleslaw because he's not. None of those things, unless he fears that, unless he pushes against coleslaw. And if he was going to be like, I protest coleslaw, I say we take coleslaw out of every buffet, cannot be served anymore. We want to make it right. He would find coleslaw everywhere, and it would be coming out to get it, right? But that wouldn't be because of coleslaw. That would be because of where Dave was holding his focus. So, right?
Oh.
I know that's a silly example, but it's so true in relationships. If you feel like there's somebody that could harm you, consider that that's your fear of them harming you, right?
Mm.
You're feeling that. And in feeling that, you're calling them to it because your focus is there. But if you
Mm.
know,
Mm.
well, right? So if you don't like something, acknowledge it. I don't prefer coleslaw, or I don't prefer the way that you just spoke to me, or I don't prefer what I just saw or experienced, whatever that is. And then breathe. Can I be okay with that? Yes, I'm okay that I don't like coleslaw. It's okay that I don't prefer that somebody said something to me that didn't feel good, right? and then generalize it out, right? Then go, well, but is coleslaw good for some people? It is. Is coleslaw actually have good nutritious value and benefits for many? Absolutely. Do some people really enjoy it? Absolutely. And are we all free? We are, right?
Mm.
So, and if it's with a person, same thing. Did they come from a source of pure love and light? Just like me. Yes, the same source of pure love and light. And do we come to think all the same? Or do we come to be free? Do we come to have different points of view? We did. And is somebody having a different point of view than me mean that I have to change my mind to believe what they believe? No. But can I allow them to hold that? Yes, I can. And I don't have to push up against them. I can appreciate them for creating from their unique vantage point and for being on their own unique journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, so good. Thank you so much, Jen. We also talked about this understanding how we can not be ourselves without the others.
Mhm.
With all of that, appreciating the others, and but first ourselves. First ourselves. So, Jen, why first us in this becoming?
Yeah, oh,
And yeah.
such a great question because we can only be ourselves. We are our point of attraction. We are our point of focusing. We are our point of creation, right? And to honor that piece, and I'll say it in a way that may help it resonate more, to honor that piece of God that we are, or that piece of source that we are. We are an extension of God, pure love and light, motion forward source energy. That's who we are. And when we honor that, we really feel source flowing to us and through us. We can feel the expansion of the universe in our physical life. Now, here's the thing, we can never do this wrong because even if we block it off and we resist it, we're really kind of mean and ornery and difficult and angry about things, we're still asking.
Mm,
Source God, our inner being, is still holding true to that which we've asked for. It's still holding that space for us.
mm,
We just don't have the pleasure of enjoying. So all is well, but we really did come to this experience not only to be able to sift and sort, to benefit from the contrast. And by the way, we couldn't be others, like you said, we couldn't be ourselves without all the others around us because they bring such clarity to us because there's things about others we appreciate and there's things about others that we know that's not us, right? They give us clarity. They let us know more clearly the person that we are, right? And the preferences that we hold. And they also let us know that we can hold true to our focus without fearing or being concerned that another can come against us or create in our reality or push against us in any way. We can hold true to who we are. But when we veer from that and we start to fear, ooh, this person could harm me or they said something bad to me or they're right, that's actually not them. That's us. That's us, right? Really feeling and focusing
mm,
in a way because when we know that all is well, that we're that extension of source energy, we're guided around those things that are difficult or those people that are difficult or the situations that are difficult. But even when we do occasionally encounter them, we don't they don't take us over, right? They don't push us or come against us. We just go, oh, good, a chance to choose. I see you could see maybe somebody's having a difficult day. Maybe they even yell at you or push you or do something physically. But you're just like, oh, that's okay, right? You know, you can acknowledge, that's not my preference. But I know they're coming from the same source of love and light that I am. And I can see this person that just lashed out at me in whatever way it was, they're in a difficult space. And that's okay. I can hold steady to who I am in hopes that they can feel who they are more, right? And in doing that, there is a sense of exhilaration. There is a sense of even truer becoming, right? And in no way do you dishonor yourself. In no way did you say, I love that you push me again, or yell at me some more, right? You're not saying that at all, right? You know that
Yes.
wasn't your choice. But you
Yeah.
know too that if when somebody is feeling they can't feel their connection, when they feel pinched off from who they really are, they're feeling strong negative emotion. And the kindest thing we can do is hold true to our alignment because we all come from the same source. And, and just the presence of a strong connection soothes their disconnection. It gives them an opportunity
Mm.
to come into greater alignment. And it's okay wherever they're at. Now, if they're in a really bad space, they might still be angry and they may not choose to change, but they have a chance. And if you're really holding true to your space, they'll just leave. They'll just go elsewhere. Things will, they'll take care of themselves.
Different.
Um, yeah,
Yes. Yeah, different direction. Yeah, but
yes,
still that
always.
love and that appreciation and that, you know, everything that brought you here in flowing forward, but just different. And different doesn't mean bad.
Exactly.
I just, yeah, well, I just love Jen. And, you always bring such a clarity in these topics that are very related. So, Jen, everything is within. We learn, I mean, kind of, we don't learn, but we expand every day in this with best life. So, energy right now, Abraham said that energy are moving faster right now.
Yeah.
So, you know in you, in all of that clarity and in all of this flowing with who we really are, kind of, what would be your suggestion in all of this, that energy are moving faster, and it's something to scare for, to be scary, or to be looking forward,
Yes.
excited.
Yes. Well, I always encourage looking forward, right? Because everything is in motion forward. And you're right. The energies are moving the fastest on the planet that they have. So if you're feeling good, you're feeling really good. And this is one of the things I love about Best Life because we're feeling really good. We really, really are. And I did a Facebook, like a little update, a YouTube video that I posted on Facebook a couple of days ago because there's so many good things happening, so many happy people, so many things flowing in, so many right. And but from that space of knowing, right, we know that people can only be where they're at, and because the energies are moving really fastly, the fastest they've ever moved, really fast. They, if you're feeling good, you feel really good. But if you're feeling other than that, if you're feeling some negative emotion, you're probably feeling really negative emotion. Right now, there's some fear, feeling of being stifled a bit, kind of their freedoms taken away, a feeling, maybe if you're ill, you feel really ill, right? But if you feel healthy, you feel really healthy. So it's understanding people can only be where they're at. And so if you are one of the people like myself or like you, Jenny, that are feeling really good, hold true to that. Embrace that forward flow. Be that example of source of motion forward for others, not in a braggadocious way, Not in a I'm going to push against you, not you're wrong and I'm right kind of way. None of that, because none of that is alignment at all. But in a way that says, you're okay. Things are moving forward. This too shall pass. If somebody's feeling really negative emotion, a nice thing to say to somebody is, this too shall pass. Things are always working out. The sun will shine again, right? Soothing things, right? Or just holding steady to that. We're all in this together, which means we're all benefiting from all the different perspectives of everyone. And if you're one of the people who's feeling really good right now, good for you. But if you're feeling some negative emotion, that's okay. You don't have to stay there. Come into alignment, connecting with who you really are. I encourage you to start by just taking some deep breaths, deliberate deep breaths. And if you know how to meditate, meditate. If you don't know how, this is a good time to start, right? It is 15 or 20 minutes of time when you're either focused on your breathing or a very uninteresting sound, right? And you're just allowing yourself to feel that sense of detachment. If you're not good at meditating and you're feeling some negative emotion, give yourself time to take those short little naps or a walk. Do things that are kind for yourself. There was a delightful story that one of our besties shared the other day, and it was so good. And they were feeling a little, feeling a little bit of kind of fear, a little bit, not a lot, a little bit, but definitely had some of that present. But they knew feeling better was the answer. And so actually, they had a fear, right? Because, okay, and this may seem a little too relevant, but they were out of toilet paper, right? This is true, right?
It is.
So it's true. It's a true story. So, but in that space, they kind of breathed, and then they said, I'm just gonna go get. There still was a place where they could go get some pizzas and take out pizza or something. So they went in there and picked up. They could still go inside, and they talked to somebody, and the person said, "Well, how are you doing?" And she said, "Oh, I'm doing pretty well." And then she mentioned something just on a little mission to find some toilet paper, and the person said, "Oh, I have your answer." Right? And she was guided right to a very plentiful supply of everything she needed. But here's the key: she was guided to that. And this is what I really want to share with you. She was guided to that not because she sat and went, I have a problem. I need to get toilet paper. I need to get toilet paper. Where am I going to find toilet paper? Let me start brainstorming. Let me start scouring the internet. No. What she did was she breathed. She said, I'm going to go get my favorite pizza, right? She was giving herself a break. And in actually feeling good and getting, going and doing that when she was feeling good, the answer flowed right in. Okay, take that in. When you're feeling good, your guidance, the answer to everything, all that you've asked, flows right in. But let it start where it starts. It might seem like it's something inconsequential, like some toilet paper, which actually was probably a pretty big deal at the time. Or it might be guidance to go clean out a drawer or go call a person or do something that doesn't really make sense to you in that moment. But know that if you receive some guidance, just a little inspired idea to do something when you're feeling good, it's your inner being calling you on your path of least resistance. Because you could listen to the guidance to say, clean out that drawer, but you might not have been able to hear the guidance that said, call specifically this person and do this for your business. Because it's too specific and you couldn't hear it. But you could hear the drawer, which would guide you in the process to something. Maybe you found a business card that was in the drawer, or you were inspired to something else, or whatever. Things will flow in place. But they all come in a space of feeling good. So I encourage you to be kind to yourself, to give yourself a break, and to give others a break too. They're doing the best they can with where they're at, and they can only be where they're at. And even if that's in a place that feels very different from where you're at, Allow them that space. Grant them their beingness, we like to say. Let them be where they are and focus on you being okay with where you're at. It's the key to everything.
Oh, so much clarity, Jen. Always. Even, I mean, for myself, I think that, this deeper understanding that we are very free and everything is for us in every way. And I mean, nobody's doing nothing to anyone. It's all beautiful attraction, but it's perfect for our growth and our becoming in the flowing forward. So I love, Jen, that everything we are doing is right because we are beings of love and light. So how we can get it wrong? But even
Yeah.
so much more flow. Yeah, even more flow, even more greater clarity, even more such a great things, even more fun, fun that we do every day in best life. I just love this. I just love this flow. And some final words, Jen. You
Mhm.
just said it so good, things, but I just
Yeah.
want to hear you again. Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So I'll just end by saying, be good to yourself. Appreciate anything and everything. Appreciate what is right now and what's in motion forward. Meaning, right now, if you're listening to this, appreciate this, right? If you're spending time with your children, appreciate your children in that moment. If you're with your cat or your dog, appreciate them. If you're in a walk, appreciate that. If you're taking a shower, appreciate that. If you're drinking a glass of water, appreciate that. And if there's always something to appreciate. Appreciate the breath in your body. It just aligns you with who you are. And know that you everything is flowing forward. There's no sense of urgency for you to get feeling super duper 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 good, right? Just come into being okay with where you're at, flowing forward to being okay with now where you're at. Oh, bumped into a little contrast. Acknowledge it. Is that okay? Yes. Okay, generalize it out a little bit. Okay with that, right? Just let it be easy. Let it be gentle. Know that your inner being, God, source, the universe, knows what you want and is calling you to it unwaveringly. So, but it all starts with you. Just appreciating, being good to yourself, um, and appreciating those and the people and the things that are in your life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. It's always fun to co-create with you, and I just love you, and I so appreciate you, and with everything you are doing in best life, and here right now sharing this amazing things with all of us. Thank you so much. It was so much pleasure and a big honor for me and to be here with you in this flowing forward. And I know that there's so much more to come. So I
Yeah.
love you so much. And thank you everyone for being here. And let's love forward in other Facebook Lives because there are a lot of more to come here. So love you all and thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
Jen.
Thank you and love you, Jenny. Thank you. Love you all. Happy, beautiful day. Happy, beautiful motion forward, and so much more to come. Mwah. Love you guys.
Love you all.
Bye bye.